Hi, it's Sheridan Webb here from the Training Designers Club, which is the place to go for practical L&D support, especially if you are a busy lone L&D practitioner. And today I've got a musing that was inspired by some DIY that we did at the weekend. Like a lot of people, we have a list of jobs piling up, and that list gradually gets longer. And unless something breaks, it tends just to stay on the notice board, or even worse, in our heads. But this weekend, our daughter came home from university and she decided that she wanted a bedside table. So off we went to IKEA, bought the pack, brought it home, and obviously had to assemble it this weekend because she was going back to university. So we got the tools out and built the bedside table. And of course, once the tools were out, it was so much easier to go and attack all those other little jobs that we'd had on our list for a while. So we hung pictures, we fixed shelves, and we dealt with a sticky drawer, all these sorts of things that we'd just never gotten around to. Suddenly, just didn't take us long because we were already in the mood. We'd made a start, and the tools were out and we were kind of in the flow of it. And it made me think about, this is what happens a lot with training design. So many people put off the training design because there's always something more exciting to do. It's maybe not pressing just yet. Maybe we don't feel inspired. We don't know where to start. We think it's going to be a lot of effort. So we just keep putting it off. And then, of course, what happens is it does end up urgent. You do end up squeezed with time. And that's when it becomes stressful because you have to create something fantastic and you've given yourself less than a week to do it and only a couple of hours on each day. Now, there is a blog on the website which addresses why training design may take you longer than you think it should. I'll signpost that in the notes. I'm not going to repeat that here. The purpose of this musing is to say, if that's hanging over you, if training design is hanging over you, just make a start. Just get your tools out and make a start on something. What does that look like with training design? It means creating a little bit of clear headspace. So stop scrolling through social media, put all that away, switch off your notifications, close down your email. If at all possible, shut down your laptop altogether, even if it's just for an hour, even half an hour. Because when you give yourself that headspace, you can make a start. And we never start training design in PowerPoint. I've talked about this so many times. Here's a start that I made on a course. I don't know how well you can see that because of the light. It's a mind map of all the things I want to cover on my training course. It's my starter for 10, and it honestly took me about 15 minutes to do that, just emptying the brain. So I have made a start. I got my tools out. Now I've done this mind map, I can see the chunks that are involved. So I can then decide, right, how long do I need to set aside? When can I fit that time in? And it makes it much more manageable. I can set aside the time in my diary. I can decide which days I've got more time available, which days I've got less, and I can allocate time accordingly. And with training design, I think a lot of the time we think it's going to take a lot longer than it does. And also we can have that difficulty with knowing where to start. Again, there's loads of things on the website, particularly courses that will help you decide where to start, what's the best order to do things in, and how to structure your approach to training design. So check out the Training Designers Club website for the courses that will take you through that. But the purpose of this musing is just to say, don't worry if you don't think you can do it all in one go. Don't worry if you think it's a big job. Just get your tools out, just make a start, because once you've made that start, inspiration will follow. You may find yourself in much more of a mood for training design than you thought you did, and you may achieve a lot more than you thought you would. You may feel inspired to do things in a different way. You may suddenly get that aha moment that makes you realise that you can curate your resources or reuse something that you've done before. But none of this will happen until you make a start. So my advice to you, especially if you're that overstretched L&D practitioner that always seems to be running from one thing to another, is create half an hour, 90 minutes of peace in your day. Make a start and the rest of it will come so much easier. For more tips, advice, resources, courses, all sorts of things to help you with your training design, please check out the Training Designers Club website, which is www.trainingdesignersclub.co.uk. Everything there is there to help make training design quicker, easier, and less stressful.